just kind of wanted to touch base on this topic because I felt that it's very relevant, and it's some information that I believe that a lot of people don't know about. But this Elvis Presley, he's supposed to be a rock and roll icon and so forth. But see, here's the thing: a lot of people are forgetting and not understanding that he was involved with a 14-year-old. Right, and he married this 14-year-old when he was 37, and he was 21, so they waited like 8 years. But the point of it is that he waited until she was 18, but he was still involved with this young girl, having sexual intercourse with this young lady and so forth. So, but everybody knew, but they kind of like turned their head from it. They didn't want to see what was happening. But see, this is Hollywood, and this is what happens, to those that supposed to be iconic, right? But see, instead of prosecuting this guy, right, they made him out to be an icon. He was a rock and roll Hall of Famer, Elvis Presley, what we all know him to be and so forth, right? But see, here's the problem that we have today, and this is why Hollywood have this stigma. It's not even a stigma, but it's the truth that a lot of kids are faced with sexual and sexual things that is happening to them and so forth. And this is why it's not really talked about. And this is why I believe our government is pretty much doing these things with our children today, because it's all lust, and it's all it's a fantasy that these people have with our children. They're predators and so forth. And this is and so. This movie that just came out, millions of people went to go see it. He is still looked at as an iconic person, but people are missing the fact that he was involved with a 14-year-old girl, although he supposed to grew up in a Christian home, right? But see, what a lot of people don't know is that, when you get caught up into entertainment, and when you get sucked in in Hollywood and so forth, you'll lose yourself. And I believe he lost himself, right? Because he became depressive, and he started dipping and dabbing and drugs and drinking, and he was miserable. Although he had millions of fans, he had millions of dollars, he was rich, he was known around the world and so forth, but he wasn't really happy, right? And he turned away from his faith, right? And then he was involved with this young girl, which he should have known that this was a young girl. He was molesting her. But see, a lot of people look past, and today a lot of people are looking past what's really happening because we're forgetting about our children, and that's why they're bringing these things into our children's classroom about sex, about gender, because it's all on an agenda, and this is something that you need to see. But you got to remember, the people who you feel that's iconic, if you look back on their past, they are satanic, right? Iconic, satanic is kind of on the remedy of things, because this is who they look up to. This is the type of people who they feel that that they should idolize. It's all about idolizing. It's paganism. It's in the same family of things. So I just kind of wanted to bring this out because a lot of people truly don't know. So you got to start looking at those who you feel that's your idol, or those that are iconic, and kind of look and see what they're into, and then you ask yourself, are these the people who you want to be like? These the people who you see want your children to grow up to know upon what they've done and so forth and so on. The most iconic person to me is Jesus, and he will always be. He is the Savior. He is above all things, right? And that's who we need to shift our focus to. That's who should be our idol, and that's who we should understand that he's in control of all things. But see, Hollywood, which is Hollywood, they have their own God, right? And their God is power and money. But I'm going to tell you what, all those things shall perish, and all those things that is in the dark shall come to the light eventually, which is all unfolding right now as I'm unfolding and exposing this situation right now. So again, he's not a rock and roll Hall of Famer. He's a rock and roll predator.